Hey everyone, and welcome back to Farming Simulator. This is the Everything Challenge. Today we are going to be focusing on automation of our farm. We're definitely getting to the point where we've got so much going on that doing it all by ourselves is a little bit too hard. And hopefully also today we're going to get down another production. The goal is to get down one production per episode, and hopefully we can get at least one down today, maybe even two. We're actually going to start by looking at the distribution of goods. There's a lot of mods out there that do help us get things moving, and particularly the eggs I don't want to be moving over to the bakery over there, and the wool I don't want to be moving over to the fabric. Now, traditionally, if these were normal productions, you could just set them to distribute, and in this case, you'd have to use a forklift. But there is a mod that lets you do this, and it's called the automatic shipping mod. So let's jump into the construction menu and place it down. So it comes under the animal area, and it only applies to certain things. In particular, you can only do this to wool, and you can only do this to eggs. So actually, these two things right here. So let's do the wool first. So sheep. So what it is a shed that has an area, so that big area in front of it, the big square where the 500 sign is, that's risky the capture area. And if you ever want to, if a risky goes into the shed, then it gets distributed, you actually can get it to hold stuff as well. So you can actually tell it to spawn, so use storage like you normally do, and it will pop out in the little square. So what my thinking is for the wool, that's why I'm using the sheep one right here, I'm going to fill this end up. So we'll have to turn overlap off, which is that keystroke. And I'm just going to align that up with the back bit. And while we're at it, we'll also do the chickens. And I'm going to do the same thing with them. So basically with the chickens, I'll be picking up all of them. Actually, do I want to do all of them or maybe 2/3? No, I'll do 2/3. And then also have to turn overlap off, and hopefully that works. And you can see they instantly went into there. So my thinking is if I want a couple to be left out so I can access them, and then when we have a lot of them, like around here, they will go into the shed. And in this case with the eggs, we didn't actually have enough, so all of them just went straight in. These are set to store right now, so that's why they popped out. So let's go into there, and you actually get a production. So before we do anything, let's rename those. Let's go back into construction mode, click on that, and go rename. I'm going to call these shipping eggs, and we'll call this one shipping wool, I guess. And then if we go back into our what do you call this, production area, you can see now we have shipping alphabetically sorted this list. So the eggs, what we're going to do is we're going to say, hey, can you please distribute them? And same thing with the wool. And so they will go across to the spinnery. And then in a sec, we'll hopefully put down the tailor, whatever it's called, the one that makes the clothes. And then the eggs distributing will go across to our bakery. Now, these don't actually require much, which is fine. So, unfortunately, this mod does not exist for... I was going to say, unfortunately, it doesn't exist for flour, and it doesn't exist because it doesn't need to. So if we go over here, you actually can see there's a spawn point right here. And we actually can tell this guy, the grain mill, to distribute. So this guy is making wheat flour, and rather than storing it, I'm going to change that to distribute. It does the whole model. And so risk of that flour will go to the bakery, and this eggs will cause it go up to the bakery as well. The other thing we do have available to us is this enable watering mod. What it does is you just buy water. So this is for greenhouses. I'm going to leave that off for a couple more episodes. I'm still okay with using the container or the tanker to do that. One thing I do want to do is this grain mill, you can see it is absolutely molasses. It's got 16,000 in it. It only makes about 1,000 a day. So basically it's really, really slow. It's barely one pallet of flour a day. So I'm going to make this one the wheat one. And I want to put down another one that is for barley. So let's do that. So we're construction mode. And first things first, I am going to rename this one. And I'm going to call this simply flour. And this is going to be from wheat, if I spell it right. And then I'm going to put down another one of those. So it looks like, where is it? Is it this one? Sugar mill, where is it? Here it is, grain mill. So I was thinking, since there's this one here, this kind of maybe keep it close by. Unloading is a problem, so I wouldn't want to put it like that and make it really hard to choose which to unload. It could go in here, but I'm tempted to put like something like this in one of those corners, something a bit more square. What is that one? That's a carpentry. We don't need that. What else do we have? Actually, tailor shop's a good example. So yeah, so we'll probably put the. So is that? Oh, that's both sides. So that's not going to work. So is there actually anything we want to put in that corner? Because most of them are going over there in the big line. So it's really these building ones. But we already own this one. Okay, we don't really need them. So, okay, so let's use this grain mill and we'll get more flour flowing. And I'm going to squeeze that in there. And how's this squareness going? You know what we might do? We may do some XML funds. So what we might do is after we got this placed, I think I'll show you a trick about how you can modify the save game to actually make everything, oops, don't sell it, rename it. So everything is perfectly aligned with the world. So this is going to be a flour production, and this one's going to be barley. And yeah, let's get that filled up, and we should walk over there and tell it to distribute as well. So barley is going to be the one turned on, and the output mode is going to be distributed as well. So basically, these two are making flour. They're going to get sent to the bakery, and these are also contributing to that. Wool goes there, air goes up. So yeah, all automated. All these are set to sell. What I do want to do is, particularly for some of this Napa stuff, is I actually want to put down the food preserve factory, and we'll automatically distribute the greenhouse goods across as well. Let's find a tractor and fill up that thing with barley. We'll just use the white. Now those little mini flour mills have massive capacities, and I do not want that much. I want about maybe 10,000 litres. So yeah, we'll just put in about that much. Yeah, that's enough. I was going to put in a little bit more, but yeah, 9,000 is plenty. And then we'll have 2 people making flour at once. We only have $15,000, but that's okay. We can try to make a little bit more money, and then we'll get down another production. We are slowly building up stuff on the ground, which is good, so we can sell that stuff. And we'll put that barley in there, and that's another production done. So when it comes to those, I'm much like the greenhouses, I'm expecting to probably put down 1 of those per good. So that's that done. So yeah, another production done. So let's double check the menus. So flour, yep, all good. 9,048 times 30 is 1,200 something. Yeah, so that's got like 8 months worth of goods in it. Cool. So what I want to do is the distribution of Napa canolas into the kimchi factory. I think it's about $36,000 again, I want to say. So that's the spinnery, cement factory. It's a big box. Where is it? Bakery. Here it is, the preserve food factory. So yeah, $36,000. And so yeah, we'll try to get that down somewhere. All right. Well, that was unexpected. I went and sold some wood at the grain mill, and we're already at $37,000, even with those contracts not finished. So we can do what I want to do, which is try to put down the preserved food factory as well. I want to do that in this episode because it's another thing that we can completely automate. We can set up the greenhouses to automatically distribute to it, and it will just work autonomously. And then we can get both, I think it's kimchi and something to do with flour and eggs. It's like it's noodles, I want to say. So that's good news. Yeah, the money is starting to definitely come in at a rate, that is making things a little bit easier. And we'll fly up here, and you can get parked there, and that's it. All right, let's put down the preserve food factory. The question is where. Distance doesn't matter too much because, as I said, it is going to be automatic delivery. I am highly tempted to put it right next to this guy. It is slightly in the ground, but we may be able to do some XML file shenanigans after the fact to get that fixed. So I don't think it will matter. So construction menu, and then this is production, and we want the preserve food factory. There it is. And we will turn on put it anywhere, please. And I am highly tempted to just shove it right next door to this person, and we can micro edit the XML afterwards if we need to make it better. I might give it a little bit of a gap. Land is not owned by you. Okay, so we have to go back a little bit anyway. Done. And then while we're at it, because I do know from experience at night time it is dark as, so I do have a whole lot of mods, particularly this one. So you can see here, this one is 3 meters off the ground, 5 meters off the ground, so you can see it floating in the air. So we'll probably need the 3 one here, but there's also variants that are 2 meters off the ground. Okay, that one's kind of cool, nice and low. I think the 3 might be the best one. And what's this one? This one's, oh, it's different. Is it 12.3? I think this brightness level 12.2. 9. Okay, yeah, these are not as bright. Yeah, I want the bottom ones that are nice and bright. So let's go for 12.3. And I'm going to put it up against, yeah, like that. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that. It should reset the orientation. And I'm going to put it right there on the property. That can shine that way. Actually, because that one, I might use the XML to move it around. I might do that one later. So let's just put these 2 in for now. And that way we'll have decent lights. Now, these buildings do have lights in them, but they're just so dull. They're very, very dull. All right, let's have a look at the Preserve Food Factory. I think its name's okay. It makes a huge number of things. We'll be doing kimchi because kimchi is simply everything from the greenhouses, so we can do that. So Napa cabbage is going to be distributing to there permanently, so we'll change that to distribute. And then temporarily we are going to grab garlic, spring onions, peppers. And so we can do that 2 ways. We could turn it on distribution for temporarily, or we could go get some pallets. I think I might go get some pallets. So let's go do, actually, and then flour and eggs for noodles. So that's the other one. So flour is being distributed through the grain things automatically. So these things are automatically set to distribute. So that will get done. And the eggs is coming through our special egg things, which is also distributing. So free delivery from everything to here. So that's kind of like a freebie to get that done. Exclamation mark is there because we haven't run enough. If you wait, I think we have to click over the hour for that to work. But let's get the kimchi stuff worked out. Garlic, spring onions, and peppers. I did change time to 1 time when those contracts were running, but now that actually, there's that completed task anyway. I'm going to go back up to maybe 3 times. Where did I leave the forklift? And there we are. So we want, which one's which? So you are spring onion. I've always forgotten what it was. It was, yeah, spring onions. And how much is it going to store? So spring onions, I'm missing it. That's under S. Yeah, 480 of these. So it's only one pallet of each, basically. So let's get one pallet of spring onions. And because it's set to distribute, no, actually these aren't set to distribute. So every once in a while we'll have to bring in a new one. We could set the greenhouse to distribute, but it means we'll lose the benefit of its production because it's definitely going to be delivering more than we need. So spring onions, that's that one. We'll get a pile of 3 here. Garlic and chili peppers. So garlic is, which one is garlic? That's not garlic. I think it might be in the first row. Yeah, that's the tomatoes and something else. Where are you, garlic? That looks like lettuce. Cabbage. Here we go. Is this one garlic? Yep. Yep. Nice white garlic. So we'll shove this on top, make a pile of 2. Let's zoom in a bit so I can see what I'm doing. Try not to make a mess here. Yeah, I'm glad that we're using up some of these things that we've had hanging around. I think I might try to get it from the side. Yeah, these are a little bit narrow, these corridors. There we go. A little bit of an angle, but that's right. And then chili peppers, I'm pretty sure is on the end. It's the first thing we did. And we will deliver these 3. What was the rate? The rate was 24 times 2. So, okay, it's going to use 48 every cycle. So 48 per month. And so these are thousands. So yeah, these are good for a long time. In fact, they're actually going to sit on the spawn point because they won't be able to be emptied. Because these are 1,000. So yeah, they're going to take a year to disappear. And I think if I don't go too fast, we should be good and be able to get these over there. I didn't check the ground level. I think it was okay. I think it was pretty flat. Yeah, we'll have to change all this from dirt to gravel or something. And hopefully if I just leave these in a pile, it should consume them all. Yep, you can see they all got partially done. The top 2 got done, and then when I let go, there you go, they're all partial, yeah. So they're all just going to drop into a place. And let's finish off the episode by putting down some gravel, which is under here. And we'll go... Why can't I do it there? Weird. Land is not owned by you. Free mode on? Okay. Why can't I draw there? Okay, it's very particular. Oh, that's kind of annoying. I might have to go super big. Oh, that's really annoying. Yeah, it's kind of annoying, that. So what do we own? I'm not even using the right stuff. I should be using gravel. No. That's kind of messed up. All right. It is what it is. It is what it is. But there we have it. So, a new production. I will get the hoeing done off camera. And we are definitely making progress on the everything challenges. Just double check that everything's turned on. Output mode is storing, and activated and activated. You can tell by it's slightly lighter color. And what's missing here? Chili peppers, garlic. I think the Napa cabbage hasn't turned up because we just haven't had enough time. Actually, let me run time quickly up to 360 and we'll get to 4 p.m. We should be able to do that Halloween contract without a problem. And then we'll go back down to 1 times, and then bottom right corner, kimchi running, noodle soup running, and Napa cabbage is at 174. So those greenhouses, as they produce it, are able to move it across. So yeah, that's really cool. That's definitely the end of the episode. As always, don't forget to subscribe to see more of the Everything Challenge, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.